Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today we are back with another episode of History Changed, I guess. That's what we're calling this series. I don't have a better name. And we're back with episode 2. Now last episode, if you didn't watch it already, what are you doing? Watch it right now. You need to watch these videos in order. Last episode we had Iraq being demolished, Japan strengthened over here while they were trying to stop genocides and stuff. And Germany now has this weird tail thing here, so that might cause troubles in the future, for war. But this episode we're going to be focusing on the Spanish Civil War. Now, I honestly don't have a single clue what happened in the Spanish Civil War. But this is an alternate timeline, right? We're going to have an alternate Spanish Civil War. I just need to spot in the sides here. So we have the nationalist movement being in brown. The current Spain is going to be in yellow. The green Spain is going to be for, independence, just to get that territory independent. But that's not a good idea. So I think they'll most likely join the brown squad. And independence would obviously be around Catalonia. Which means now we must start the Spanish Civil War. The first battles will be in between the original government and the pro-Catalonia independence movements. We'll start with the armies going in and doing some damage. So we managed to push them all the way back to here before they start arming themselves up. I'm talking tooth and nail. They're arming each other up. But while they did that, the nationalists, they managed to push through and capture some more territory here. Which is good because now they can connect these two parts up, which will greatly help out in this civil war. So what can main Spain do now? They gotta knock out Catalonia and then push for their capital. Or probably just, they need a better force. They managed to push Catalonia back even further, but not wipe them out fully. This is just a long, dragged out war. And now we need to see who backs what side. Germany backs, obviously, the nationalists. So do Italy and all of Germany's allies. But the Western powers, back the regular Spain. So we'll see a lot of foreign aid going into this. But whose foreign aid is truly the best? We will see. The nationalists make a slip up, which allows regular Spain to push them back and hard. They gained a pretty decent amount of territory. But, the Axis, they have, this side was really strong in our timeline. So they're going to be able to do some pushing. They're going to do some great pushing until, the good foreign aid over here starts to set in. And from here, Portugal's going to intervene on the side of, regular Spain because it's not looking too well. And the Portuguese armies are going up into, capturing Galicia, that area. But, the West has troops all around the Portugal nationalist border, but they aren't pushing in from there. They then managed to let regular Spain capture a whole bunch of territory up here. But will this help them win the Civil War in the long term? We will see. I don't think the Germans would escalate this into a full-on conflict, although the nationalists will manage to push in and capture Lisbon, which soon after would cause Portugal to fall, the nationalists, and now they can try to push back. It's not going good for regular Spain here. They're constantly getting pushed back, and they're sending out the navy to the Balearic Islands. I remembered, guys, the Balearic Islands, not the Canary Islands. These are the Canary Islands. These are the Balearic Islands. There we go. And our Spain, or the Spain that's most likely getting cited, got the viewer support. Yellow Spain has the viewer support, I would most likely say, but who knows. The nationalists are just beating butt over here, They're just kicking tooth, they're beating everything up here. And here's where Catalonia will break away to try to join up with the brown team, or the nationalists. And from here, they'll fight guerrilla, but at the end of the day, the Spanish Civil War will end with a nationalist victory. And now, the question being, what's going to happen with Portugal, Portugal will lose land in this war. Unfortunately, it's to, the nationalists, but it's nothing too big, only just a little cut off the top. And now with the new fascist Spain in Europe, tensions will rise even further. The Germans are like, wow, these people can actually fight for themselves. So they're going to offer them a spot into the Axis. This is a very alternate timeline. In our reality, Germany would never. That would not be allowed. But in this timeline, they're feeling more likely. And now the Soviets and the Germans would meet up, and there's nothing really the Allies can do about this one, but they jointly are going to invade Poland. But the Allies aren't going to do anything. Why aren't they going to do anything? Well, think about it. The Germans already whooped them once, and they are even stronger now. Maybe France would join, but that would just cause them to get defeated very fast. Plus, maybe the Soviets could join in on the war, which isn't ideal. So we have the Germans and the Soviets pushing in, it would probably get occupied like that. But now they have to split it evenly, according to their treaties and such. Now here's Germany's chance to make the border better. The deal is that they get this land, and the Soviets would manage to gain this land, as well as Poland, their part. What is going on here? So this is basically the deal. Now they don't have to worry about that little tail thing, and it's gone to the Soviets. So the Soviets gain land here. But the Germans, of course, will eventually fight the Soviets, They'll never not eventually fight the Soviets. It's just one of those things that are guaranteed to happen eventually. But, the majority of this episode has been covering 2 events. We need another minor event, at least, to occur so we can have more content. And where would that happen? Or have the Soviet conquest of the Baltics happen. They have a united front here against the Soviets, but we all know how this is going down. The Soviet army is way stronger than them. They'll push through and capture Lithuania and capture the Latvian capital. The country falls, and Estonia will fall as well. And the Soviets will annex them. Yep. Pretty easy. Barely an inconvenience. And now the Soviets have the Baltic states. And in the next episode, they're going to go to war with Finland. Why not this episode? They're going to be more cautious now. Because there's warnings coming around from the alien kingdom, don't attack Finland. It goes bad. They're here to help the Allies, but they changed the timeline, man. There's different things going on. And the Germans are preparing for a major war. So, next episode, expect major war to happen. And what else will happen in this episode? We see Italy trying to do something dumb. I'm talking really stupid. They're going to declare war on Yugoslavia. And Yugoslavia is a pretty formidable nation. They could defend themselves and eventually start pushing into Italy. The Germans would then have to bully them back by pushing in. They'd be able to push here before they're like, you know what? We're not going to fight these wars for you anymore. They would rather support Yugoslavia. Italy's just too stupid, So Yugoslavia will have a good time pushing into Italy. And Italy, the government's going to revolt. Bad things happen. Eventually, this half of Italy will switch sides. Let's just get this over with. Italy lost this war, but the Germans are going to try to install a greater government in Italy. And for compensation in the war, or for winning the war, Yugoslavia gets Albania. Nothing too big, but, something for winning a war against Italy. So now the Italians are going to get a really great military for this upcoming war in the next episode. We still need more stuff. This is a pretty short episode. What's gonna happen? China. Let's see what happens in China. We have the 2 major sides playing out. And the communists would just, the Soviets are going to invest in the Chinese Civil War, which means the communists will be able to push through. Unorganized territories would easily get pushed into, and, eventually, through a bunch of warfare, China will now try to unify under the Communist Party. They're eventually going to get Tibet as well, and they're going to, the Soviets are going to allow them to get Mongolia as long as the Soviets can annex Tannu-Tuva. They agree. And now China's looking very goofy. Very slightly unified. Now this China, it may look unified on the map, but there's still some infighting that will happen. There's never not going to be infighting with China. Just know that. It may look unified, but it's certainly not. It will never be unified. And now China looks strong, but in reality it isn't. But, it makes the borders look way better over here, so I like it. It's a great improvement. By the way, I'm gonna binge make these episodes. I'm binge recording because school's gonna start up in around 2 weeks, and I want to have videos that I can, post, and I don't want to worry about editing too much, that kind of stuff. Trying to set back into school. Anyways, if you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you really liked it, then make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another episode. Wait, you can join the Discord. I know some people are having trouble with the Discord. Example, my viewer known as Gady, specifically from Teapot, that series. Gady's having trouble. He can't join Discord. It happens, but the way that my viewer stuff works needs you to be able to go onto Discord. I know they recommended this gilded thing, but everybody needs to be unified, so I'd like to work with both parties there, Discord and gilded, but I don't, everybody needs to be in one thing here for this to work, so unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that, but anyways, I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye.